What's up, guys? Just doing a really quick, very informal video of my very small Sideshow premium format collection. You're going to notice right away that most of my statues are X-Men statues. And as I decided to start collecting, that's where I wanted to start, as the X-Men are my favorite. Most of my favorite characters are X-Men, which is a great way to start with Storm. So Storm, it was actually my very first statue purchase, and that was an obvious start for anyone that knows me, because Storm has been my favorite character since I was a little kid. From either DC, Marvel, any team, she's always been my favorite. So I started with the Sideshow premium format Storm, and it's the regular edition. Love the mixed media cape. That's one of my favorite things about Sideshow when I was deciding to start collecting, and I was thinking about which company to start with, like XM or, different companies and stuff. It was definitely the one that stood out because of the mixed media approach. It makes the statue kind of come alive more, in my opinion. And she's rocking the 1970s Giant Size X-Men #1 debut costume. So she has like the black tiara, of course, on top, and the ring in the middle of her suit, her high boots. It's really cool. Beautifully sculpted, beautifully painted. A lot of detail in like the wrinkles of the boots and stuff, and her hair is amazing, of course. Yeah. So that's the Sideshow premium format Storm. I have her displayed with a J. Scott Campbell print from Comic-Con. It's addressed to me. It has a signature over there on the left side. Same costume, which is important, of course. Something I really love. So we'll go ahead and go into the Phoenix next. This is the Sideshow Premium format Phoenix edition, not the Dark Phoenix, obviously, which is the red suit. And they only made 300 of these statues. So she's very rare. Check out that hair. The sculpt on this statue is just absolute insanity. And mine's actually a Sideshow sample, so I'm extra lucky to have her in my collection. I like to position her kind of at an angle, as you see, because I really like that formation of the phoenix bird that you get in the flames. And when you look at it head on, you really do lose a lot of that formation. It just looks like flames. But from an angle, you start to see the wingspan and the phoenix head and beak forming. So I like her at an angle. Yeah, just amazing detail from like head to toe on her. She's great. Absolutely perfect. So there are my premium format Phoenix and Storm. So we're going to go over here to the Sideshow premium format Colossus. This is the regular edition as well. Colossus is freaking huge. The premium format statues, if you didn't know, are all quarter scale. So they're to scale. So when you look at like Colossus, for example, in comparison to Psylocke here, she only comes up to, about the start of his chest, right above the torso. And the other thing to notice is that, she's on her tippy toes here. So, it's all to scale. He barely fits in my case. He's huge, amazing, beautiful. Great multimedia costume as well. It's very tight. It's very form-fitted. It's just perfect. Patent leather belt. Great X emblem. Comes on the museum style X base that was very popular for this line. They kind of went back and forth, but it's very nice looking. Very neat. And he's the regular edition. Exclusive edition is the swap out head, but not much of a difference from this one. He's just kind of like showing his grills. All right, let's go over to the Sideshow premium format Psylocke exclusive edition, one of my favorites. Psylocke is one of my like top 5 favorite superheroes as well, not just X-Men, but any. She has a great story, very complicated, very convoluted a little bit, but I mean, I just loved it. I ate it up when I was younger. I loved the whole Siege Perilous body swap with Quanon and everything. I just loved it. So I love how her powers work. She's just badass. She's kick-ass. This is one of the best Psylocke statues, I think, on the market. She's just gorgeous. A lot of muscle tone. Great sculpt. Full body, well, you know, as much as the costume is, but full multimedia cloth costume there. Very tight, very form-fitted again. I love the sash. She does come with a swap out belt that is like the hip belt, and it's has the X emblem, leather, very cool. But I like to be able to form my own, you know, pieces or features. And she has the Jim Lee style hair with the exclusive head here, so it's very cool. For some reason on the camera, I think it must be the daylight, it's coming out mostly black, but it's actually, there's a lot of purple in there. It's mostly a lot of purple in the top layer. The base is black, but which I'm looking at it off camera and I can see a ton of purple, but on camera it's not coming up. So I hope when I load it, you can actually see the purple. But anyways, one of the things about Psylocke I'll mention is there was a like huge epidemic with the legs that they were peeling, cracking. There was something in production that got messed up. So I am extremely lucky to have this statue in this condition. She has no cracks, nothing wrong with her legs. I check obsessively with a flashlight all the time, and she's in perfect condition. So again, I'm extremely lucky to have an exclusive edition Psylocke in this condition in my collection, especially again like her being one of my favorites. So, and she's being displayed with a J. Scott Campbell print, also hand signed. There's the printed signature. There is his hand signature over there. It's perfect. She has her side blade in one hand and her blade in her katana in the other. She also, standard for both the regular edition and the exclusive, she comes with a swap out katana blade that you can swap out in this arm. I love her powers and how they work and her side blade and everything, so I have to have this one displayed. I've never used the other. I love it. It's kind of transparent too. I see a lot of people, you know, in the reviews be like, oh, I love the dual katana because it's super hot with a girl with, you know, 2 blades, but that's not why I love the character. She's obviously a very good looking character, very attractive, but I just love her character, her story, the complications of it, how she switched, how her powers work, the different things that she forms, weapons that she forms, and how she uses her powers. So, I mean, to me, it's not about like the, oh, hot girl with 2 blades thing. To me, it's about her power and how she's kick-ass as a character. So, that's why I only use this one. All right, so that's the Sideshow premium format Colossus and premium format exclusive Psylocke. So we'll go ahead and go down here to the Rogue and Gambit cabinet. And these are both premium format exclusive editions. Now Rogue, she's rocking her exclusive head, which is the 90s haircut and bandana. A must if you're going to give me this costume. I love Rogue in a lot of different looks throughout all the years, but if you're going to give me that costume, I got to have that 90s haircut and look. Just like in the print that I have, the X-Men number 24 print. And obviously enlarged cover of a comic. But anyways, She has a multimedia belt that you can kind of hitch to the side yourself. And her iconic leather jacket during the 90s that you know, you could roll up her sleeves and stuff. It's really cool. Now the Rogue statue too also had some paint problems. There was a lot of these that were plagued with oogly eyes or cross eyes or just messed up paint jobs in the eyes especially. And so I was super lucky to find this one that was exclusive and to have a really good, you know, paint job, really great eye job. A lot of the reason why is because I'm not a fan of repainting or altering or customizing statues. I want them to be stock in the way the studio envisioned and kind of sent them. So I didn't want to have to resort to that, so I got very lucky. All right. And then we have the Sideshow Premium Format exclusive Gambit, and his hand here is the exclusive piece. So you can see his kinetic energy forming there around the card. It's kind of in a little bit of an action pose. The regular hand is just a singular card, and it's like an ace of spades if I'm not mistaken. Sorry for the brightness adjusting. It's the camera auto adjusting on my iPhone. I'm right by my back porch window, so I'm getting a lot of different shades of light in here. Again, this is very informal. It's very much just for me, so I do apologize that it's shaky and not the best camera work. See, I would never be able to see this statue in a sculpted trench coat. I mean, you get to form so much of that yourself. There's wires throughout. I mean, I don't know. I just think it makes it look like Gambit's right here. He has a staff. Both of them are on the X base. I mean, they look really sharp side by side. All right, we'll continue down Lover's Lane and we'll go to the Jean and Scott Cyclops Premium Format cabinet. So Jean, we'll start ladies first. Jean is the Premium Format exclusive edition, and I have her displayed with the exclusive head, which is that short haircut. And I prefer that one because being a child of the 90s, I grew up on the cartoon. I was also reading the comics at that time, and I remember seeing Jim Lee's style of Jean was she had that like really big hair that was all over the place, and I loved that too. But I also watched the cartoon, and in the cartoon, they were afraid that little boys would not be able to tell the girls apart. So they gave her a short haircut. They kind of went away from the comic book look, gave her a short haircut. So it's become very iconic, and it's something I wanted. So that's the exclusive piece there. She's a great statue sculpt. The suit is beautifully done, beautifully painted. A lot of great shadowing and stuff. I mean, she's really great. Well done, especially up close. And then I have the Sideshow Premium Format Regular Edition of Cyclops with his iconic mixed media leather jacket there. And I love his pose. I mean, he's in kind of like an action pose on like some rubble or a cliff. He looks like he's about ready to blast some fools. It's very epic. And then there is like a little rock that you can push down on in the back, and his visor actually lights up. And then there's also a like blasted off Magneto helmet back there. Cool statues. So that's the Jean Premium Format Exclusive Edition next to the Cyclops Premium Format Regular Edition. All right, now let's go down to the Wolverine and Sabretooth cabinet. And both of these our Sideshow premium format exclusive editions. We'll start with Sabretooth on the left. And Sabretooth is being displayed with his exclusive head, his portrait. I like him with his mouth open and growling because it kind of matches the Wolverine look there. They look more locked in combat. And the regular edition, he has his mouth closed and he's kind of smiling like a sneer. It's really cool too, but I like this like combat look between the two of them. And he has the head to toe mixed media cloth costume. I love it. Same thing with Wolverine. Love that cloth costume. To me, I mean, it just looks like I got the two actual characters right in front of me. And it's very tight, very form-fitted. The base is amazing, both of their bases. It's like Canadian foliage. There's like, there's maple leaves, there's skulls and animal stuff there. There's foliage again, like a log and other things in the back. I mean, they're really cool. And the sculpt on like the claws and stuff for Sabretooth is just insanity too. I mean, these are just like really beautifully done. Now Wolverine, I don't use the exclusive head because I feel like it's him unmasked and they have his mask kind of hanging behind him like a hood. But I feel like this is just much more obviously iconic. So I'm gonna pretty much only use this one, but it's nice to have it exclusive. The claws are real metal, very sharp if you actually touch them. I love having people touch them when I open up my case because they're very surprised. He has like the real leather belt, just like in the picture behind. And his traditional yellow and blue, very iconic Wolverine costume. Yeah. It's epic. Alright, so that's the Sideshow Premium Format exclusive editions of Sabretooth and Wolverine. Alright, last but not least is my only non-mutant, non-X-Men, which is the Sideshow Premium Format regular edition of Captain America. And this is actually the modern portrait, I think is what they call it. Modern Age, I think is actually what it is, Modern Age. So this is, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the second one. It's not the OG Captain America, of course. I'm very certain of that. But this might be the third. I think it's the second, though. They have the third one that just came out with Black Widow. And I got him for a steal, and I just had to keep him when I saw him. I was thinking about flipping him at first. I thought I could just make some money off of him. But I mean, he has a lot of great detail too. His utility belt basically like rivals Batman. I mean, there's a ton of stuff in there. Gun, there's like a soldier's shovel. All that stuff comes out. There's like a utility knife back here. I can't really see it because of the shield. See if I can get a shot. Yeah, there we go. And you know, a bunch of different containers and stuff. Everything opens. Everything's fully, you know, realized. It's great. The weathered pants, the like rubble base, pillars, the metal distressed shields. Jeez, wobbly central, I'm sorry. And like the leather straps behind to kind of hold it in place. His arms are mixed media, that's cloth as well too, so it's very tight, very form-fitted. The sculpt on the scales is insanity. And then right back down to the red and white distressed look, that's all cloth. And that's, you know, very form-fitted again. I mean, they really did a lot of great detail in this statue. So once I got him, I could not give him up and flip him. He's in my collection, and I think eventually I already have the Thor Brimstone exclusive edition on pre-order, so eventually I'm going to build an Avengers cabinet. So this will be my Captain America for that one. Alright guys, well hopefully you saw something that you hadn't seen before, or from a different angle or more up close than you had seen before. If there's ever one of my statues you'd like to see more privately with some of the swap out features, anything like that, let me know. I'd love to do another video. Alright, take care, peace.